Mhm.
Tessa Lewis, it's so
Yeah.
nice to see you.
I love to see
It's
you too,
been
Linda.
a minute.
Yeah.
How are you?
Things are good. Things are good. Got some new stuff cooking. I'm excited to talk to you about it.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yes, I'm excited to hear about it. So, share, tell me everything. What's going on?
Sure. So since we last spoke, I'm launched a new initiative thing. It's a passion project of mine. It's honestly like low key been in the works. I think at least in the back of my mind for the past 10 years. So this is like a decade coming thing, and it's called the Best Self Collective. And this is just like my passion project. I like I said, I've been working on just in my heart and head for quite a long time, and now it's finally coming to fruition. And so I'm actually having a Best Self Collective podcast that's launching soon, as well as a Best Self Collective community where we actually have programs and events scheduled in the new year for lots of self best practices for self care and self discovery.
Beautiful. That's exciting.
Thank you.
You've been in the personal development industry for a long time. How long have you been?
I mean, I guess it depends on how you define been in it, but I would say that like I've been a student of it since I was a child, for
Oh,
sure.
okay.
And so it's like personal development, personal growth, spirituality, like these are things, philosophy, these things have always interested me. And I can remember like as a small kid, like I could like read, like I mean, I guess I was like what, third, fourth grade. And my parents would put me to bed, but I was a nocturnal child. So they put me to bed. I'm like, I'm waiting for y'all to go to bed so that I can walk around the house or do what I want to do. And so in order to not get in trouble, what I would do, Linda, is I would actually just like not turn on the television. I would just read the books we had in like a little like, like it was not like a library, but it was a wall, like floor to ceiling of shelving with books. And so, because my parents were in sales, they had all sorts of personal development books, mindset books, just sales techniques and how to win friends, influence people. And so I would stay up late at night reading this stuff from a very young age. So that's when I got into personal development.
Wow, that's so interesting. Good for them. But as an adult, you've been like I met you a year ago in Miami at an event, Gina DeVee's Divine Living event. That was really a powerful event. Um, what since you've been an adult, how long do you think you've been doing the coaching type stuff? Like,
Sure. So that's kind
uh,
of a complicated answer. But I guess I would say I've always been in love with the idea of helping others, whether I
okay.
got paid for it or not. So whether that's just being a good friend, people could always call me and would call me, for support and things like that. But I did actually attempt to be a life coach many years ago. This was about 10 years ago, I want to say, that I actually was like, I can do this professionally. And I attempted to do it and I actually completely, utterly failed at it, but never lost that spark and desire to like actually keep helping. So I never stopped. And so I would say like my whole life, it really honestly is my real answer, how long I've been.
Wow, it's awesome. So who are some of your favorite inspirational speakers, like the famous? Who do you follow and like who are very inspirational to you, like as a child, as an adult? Is there anyone that stands out?
Sure. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on, but like top names that come to mind, Marianne Williamson, Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, those are my people. Authors like Liz Gilbert, Martha Beck, changed my life. Like basically anybody who was ever on the Oprah Winfrey show at some
Mm,
point, like I probably read their book or followed them in some capacity. So yeah, so those are the things that come to mind.
awesome. I love Wayne Dyer. I love Martha Beck. After watching her interview with Kathy Heller, I was like, oh my God, she's amazing. I do have her book.
Me
The Joy,
too.
yeah, the Joy Diet. Yeah.
Oh no, I just started today actually. Even though I bought it a few months ago. I just started the I think it's called The Way of Integrity by Martha Beck. And I'm
Yeah.
already chapter one. I'm already like, I love her. It's just so amazing.
She's so good, so good. Um, so do you have any personal practices that you do to raise your vibration, to stay motivated, to stay inspired, to get excited? What do you personally do? Like, could you name about three things that you actually practice that you learned from a lot of these coaches and
Sure.
speakers?
Yeah, I would say the main things are for me, like moving my body in some way, whether it's stretching or, dancing, shaking things off. Like, I think that just helps change my state. So if I feel like I'm getting into a lower vibe, like I know that's kind of a quick fix. I would also say it's mentality and like self-talk. I'd be very mindful of the words I think and say. And so that helps. If I'm not conscious of my language, I can tend to be a little of a downer. I might be kind of whiny, and that lowers my vibe, that lowers my energetic state. And so I just try to be very mindful of the things I think and the things I say as well. So how you move your body, what you think, what you say, I'd say top three.
Oh, wow. Yeah, those are very powerful. They say, emotion is motion and energy in motion. So moving your body absolutely helps your vibe, helps you get out of a funk, get out of negative thinking and all that. Yeah. So what advice would you give the listeners if they're just kind of like starting out and wanting to get, more into personal growth, and what kind of advice would you recommend?
Mm, mm. Oh, I could talk about this all day long. I would say buckle up. It can be a really fun ride. And it's a journey. You know what I mean? It's a journey. So don't, if you're starting to have a new interest in this area, don't think you're going to change yourself overnight. Like you're going to sit down and there's some things you're going to get to work through. And I would also say that in personal development, it's not all about positivity. I think that's a very tempting line of thinking to get into, that if I just think positive, then like everything's gonna be fine, right? And it's like that's training wheels. That's good. That's good for a season to kind of improve your thoughts. But on this path, you're going to be challenged. You're gonna fail. You're gonna have your feelings hurt. But you're gonna grow through it. So that's what I'd say someone new on their path.
Oh, that's great advice. Very true. Good stuff. So let's see. What advice would you give your younger self?
Mhm.
A good question. I love to ask.
Okay, so what comes to mind for me is the first word is relax. Um, Take it easy. You don't have to have all the answers at once. You don't have to even know what the path is going to look like, let alone know what's going to happen on the path. Just trust that you're going to learn what you need to learn and that you're going to get through all of it. Even the worst parts, you're going to get through it.
Excellent. Love that. So how can people find you, Tessa, if they want to follow you or learn more about your new upcoming programs?
Oh, sure. So basically, Instagram, Best Self Collective, or my podcast, Best Self Collective Podcast. So leave a comment or leave a comment for me on Instagram. I'd love to meet you. Like I love Linda. I love you. So like I'm sure I love all her listeners and people. So I'm happy to meet you all. So yeah, connect with me either place on the podcast through the reviews or Instagram.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Awesome conversation.